Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. And Tom, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us today and bringing some new insights as well as some opportunities. Now, just recently, you just had some great success in regard to guns for guns for groceries.
Yeah.
Was that in Texas?
Yes, the San Antonio on Sunday will have a Guns for Groceries event. Now, originally it was called Guns for Groceries, and for some reason they removed that title, maybe thinking I had trademarked it or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it's the same idea. They partnered with a large supermarket chain called HEB, and they they'll have it on Sunday, and they have a scale, just like I suggested, slightly different on paying for guns. The one thing that they had to do, San Antonio police, they had to compromise with them. The police want to be able to check the gun numbers and all to see if they were used in a robbery or murder or whatever. And on October the 28th, there was another gun buyback in El Paso, and it was no questions asked, and they got in 400 guns in less than half a day. I think maybe they might have run out of money. That's one of the problems with these cities trying to do it themselves. San Antonio was trying to raise 250,000. The news article I read, they had already raised half of that, and that was well over 3 weeks ago. So hopefully they raised all the money that they needed for the event on Sunday. We'll see. But it's happening all over the country. I mean, Washington State and Brooklyn and all you have to do is Google gun buyback events, and you'll see there's a bunch of them. And all these cities think that they're useful, but it really needs to be a nationwide program funded by the government to, let's say, start off with 350 million, and it would instead of having the Justice Department in charge of it, which is not really something they could do. They'd have to set up a whole another division to do it. The ATF could do it because they've got 6,000 employees and all these officers all over the United States that can go and pick up the guns, and they've got a way to destroy guns, just as they have done when they confiscate weapons from drug dealers or whoever. So they've got a system, and might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah. Now,
and that, by the way, that was that idea came to me when I was just thinking, well, gosh, I wish I could do something about gun violence, and bang, that idea popped into my head. So
I wonder how that popped in your head.
It's called inspiration, but the inspiration typically comes from your upper timelines, because inspiration from the upper timelines, they typically do the inventions first, ideas, other things, and then it slowly passes down through the other timelines down to our timeline 6 where we are. And so they hit me over the head with a 2x4 here.
There you go.
So I might encourage people on at tinyurl.com/guns-groceries, -for groceries. You can sign my petition, and that will help grow it. it's only a little over 1,300 people so far, and it needs to be a lot larger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you feel with your sessions with Theo, have you received a sense that this energy of guns and this type of violence and taking human life is leaving the planet?
Well, I mean, I'm told that there's someone that's going to run with this idea, and I don't know who it is because um, you know, I don't have um, the connections in
Mm-hmm.
Congress. You know, it'll take somebody that will convince somebody. Like I've emailed Congressman Allred here in Texas, who's running for the Senate, and
Mm-hmm.
you would think he would want something that would, bring him national and
Mm-hmm.
Texas um, publicity, but I haven't heard a peep from him. So
I would think that Texas would be a hard place to start this whole.
yet here's Houston that's done gun buyback events. Now San Antonio, El Paso, Fort Worth. Um, so it's a nationwide thing. It's not just, oh, forget about Texas because they're gun crazy.
Yeah. But do you get a sense that this energy, though, that this war energy and this energy of violence is going to be leaving the planet? Like,
Yeah,
what?
I'm told eventually, as an example, in the United States, what's kind of far out there, and I don't know if this is 2 years down the line or 5 years down the line or whatever, but I'm told eventually the compromise will be that you can keep these AR-15s, these automatic rifles at your home, and if you go out with them, they have to be broken down in the trunk of your car, and you can go to a firing range and practice with them. But and if they have a lockup system at the firing range, you can leave it there. Or if you want to bring it back home, then you have to break down the rifle and bring it home. So this allows those who wish um, uh, what is it, Article 2, or I'm calling it the wrong thing, being allowed to keep a gun for your protection. It exactly allows people to do that, but does not allow it to be taken away from your home. And that's a compromise that will be coming down the line
In the next couple of years? I'm praying for the day that guns aren't even a thing on the planet any longer. War
Sure.
is not a thing anymore. It's just that
Right.
energy just doesn't fit here anymore. That's what I'm hoping for.
Right. And to that end, and we may have discussed this before, I can't remember. Um, Ukraine will be the last war in Europe. But when I asked recently about the Middle East, I asked, will the Israeli Hamas conflict be the last one in the Middle East? And I was told, unfortunately, no, Tom, there will be more conflicts there.
Okay.
But eventually, 100 years from now, there will be almost none. So we're heading in the right direction.
We're heading in the right direction. Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. It's good to see you, Lisa. Thank you for your moderating. Kevin, hello. Hi, Kay. Everybody's popping in here. I don't know if you can see them. You can click on comments so you can see the comments come on, Tom, if you want.
Oh,
Up to
okay.
Yeah. If you click on up to your right-hand side, you'll see comments.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see all the comments that way.
Now, I will also mention something that's happening, and people I don't think are aware of of this actually happening, but I'm told that all these migrations that are taking place, as an example, just yesterday on the news, they said 24,000 people from China have made the trip by flying to Quito, which requires no visas for Chinese citizens. They take a bus as far north as they can, and then they walk the same trail that all the South American migrants walk through the jungle and everything to the U.S. border, and they say, "Here I am, here I am. Here's my hands. Handcuff me, take me." Because over 70%, and I think it could be higher, but the government doesn't want to admit that, over 70% are given asylum in the United States. Now, all that's doing, when you think about all this migration, South America, Asia, Africa, going into Europe and everything, one day in the future, I know by the time I have a life in the 3400 era of, era, okay, as a female space pilot of one of the 17 Earth starships, there's only going to be one Earth race, no different races. Everyone will have merged by that time, and we'll have a chocolate brown color, and that's going to be the explorer race from then on. So
Wow.
it's happening now. You can see all these mixed race marriages and everything that are slowly happening in the world. And probably the United States is going to be one of the first because we have so many different types
Beautiful.
of people here.
Beautiful. I love it. So for those of you who are popping in, hello and welcome. This is Tom T. Moore, and I'm going to share the screen here really quick. And if you'd like to be a part of his newsletter and learn more about him, you can go to here. Let me share the screen real quick first. And window. Here is his newsletter you will, I'll give you the website here that you can get on and connect in with Tom Banners. Sorry.
And the questions that I publish are all up to the readers of my newsletter. This is a free newsletter. You can subscribe to it on the very first page of my website. And on the website, in articles and news, you can see all my archived newsletters all the way back to 2007. And it's free. It's my gift to the world. And if you want to ask a question, please do a search on the articles and news page first to see if I've asked the question before. And if I haven't, send me an email, and which is down at the bottom of my newsletters. And you can ask the question, and I'll put it on my list to do in one of my meditations.
Yeah. So this is a newsletter, but yes, if you go to the website, that's where you can sign up to get the newsletters and also learn more about Tom. And but it's very interesting. I don't know where Tom found that picture, but
I did a Google search for photos of you because you had sent me the little image, and I could not load it.
You can load it.
I found that would Google your image and put some more up, so that in the future I could have more to choose from.
That's funny. I'll have to send you another picture. Anyway, so and he has questions in here that he receives answers for. He channels answers with Theo, and I feel like Theo is more of just kind of a universal connection to spirit, or is it
Yeah.
an act?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody has a guardian angel, which are actually known as golden light beings, because these are very, very old souls that through millions of years had raised their vibrational levels to the point where they glow a golden light and are known as golden light beings.
Mhm.
There's a little over 1 million of them that handles all the people on Earth in all of their lives, in all the 12 parallel lives, all going on at the same time for each life, all at the same time. As Theo says, they're busy guys.
They're busy. Yes. And but we, just thank you for all that you do, and taking the time to create these newsletters. I enjoy them. Uh, Now, the U.S. budget mess that this imminent right now. So, can you talk a little bit about the energy around what you felt like when you were receiving these messages?
Well, I felt, and again, I mentioned down in the paragraph below that the message I was receiving, the highest probability was going to be that they were not going to be able to pass the budget, and it was going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was that because and keep in mind, when you get into these probabilities, I struggle at times because I'll be told this is the highest probability, but yet there are lower probabilities, and um, I have to account for them. And in this particular case, they were able to pass it. Now, what's going to happen in January? Um, that's that could be a horse of a different color or whatever, because a lot of the Republican congressmen were furious at Johnson for going
Mm-hmm.
ahead and okaying the budget without these stringent measures that some Republicans wanted to be in a bill, and so who knows what's going to happen in January. I'll try again, but I am I mentioned the fact that when you are doing these meditative sessions, and one of my soul contracts is to encourage everyone to do these meditative sessions and ask your own questions, because everyone has the pineal gland at the back of our heads, which acts as an antenna for every type of telepathic thought, feeling, image, you name it, that it they come under so many different psychic, all the different words that are used, but it all flows through the pineal gland. So everyone can do this. It just, as Theo says, takes practice, 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 and that's
Yes,
what
yes, and
I'm willing to do.
I'm gonna get to that with you. That practice, practice,
Oh,
practice that
okay,
we've been told to do. But before we get there,
yeah,
uh, this is a very interesting question that came in, and are these all questions that people have asked you? And that's so
yes,
fun. I love that.
yeah.
So, why do astronauts' DNA mutate in space? Great question.
Yeah. Um, I'm told that eventually this will be fixed. There'll be a way to protect them, but until that happens, when they get out of Earth's atmosphere, they're subject to these energies um, that the atmosphere protects us from. But when you leave, you're not protected, and
Wow.
some of them will have long-term health issues because of that.
Wow. Okay. But eventually that'll change. Anyway, so there's tons and tons here for you to enjoy. So I encourage everybody to sign up for his newsletter. And thank you again, Tom, so much for creating that for us. I always find it very interesting and fun.
And it's free.
And it's free, that's a lot of time that you offer for us.
Yep. It's
All
my
right.
sole contract, so what can I do? Theo says you're going, originally when I started communicating, I was told, you're going to write books. No, I can't. I'm a business guy. I'm going to, do film distribution till I retire. No books. So I did. So I've got my 7th book is almost finished.
Yeah.
It's just deciding how I want to publish this time, because my publisher is now only publishing ebooks and not printed. So she's even offered that if I wanted to publish my own, I could do that. It's just that I lose the advantage of the advertising that the Sedona Journal of Emergence gives me free every month for my books. So,
Okay.
I don't know. That just happened today. So
Oh
no. What do I do?
That's interesting. Have you thought of doing so they said digital only, will they do Audible as well?
I only have one of my books as an Audible audio book. I even offered to read the book, and the company in Los Angeles, I think it is, said I would have to fly to LA and I would have to audition like any other book reader. And
That's funny.
so
For
that
your own book. How interesting is that? All right. Well, yeah, like Lisa says, it's a sign of the times, unfortunately, in regard to books and printing and doing all that.
Yeah, printing. I mean, even the Sedona Journal of Emergence, you would not believe how much it costs just to print one magazine these days. I mean, printing costs are going out of sight for these publishers. It's really, really difficult for
them. All right. So I do have some. So at the end, we are going to discuss some the most benevolent outcome, different types of intentions for the most benevolent outcome,
especially for Thanksgiving.
Yes, so I do want to talk about that at the end, so we can kind of end on the most benevolent outcome. Now, so your 7th book, Conversations with Gaia, and the voyage. Your first chapter is on the voyage of Gaia, and so that's interesting. You kind of connected in that it wasn't a comet, but it was an
asteroid.
Asteroid. Mm-hmm.
Yes. When Gaia actually was attracted to Creator's creation at the very start. Creator was I call it the small bang theory, because what Creator did was to create several hundred, maybe several thousand, but not a huge number of galaxies, and they were all kind of compacted together, and so Gaia showed up, and the intention of her soul interest was to eventually become a quantum master. And so Creator said, well, if you want to do that, I suggest that you visit every single one of the galaxies that I have created so far, and communicate with all the suns, all the planets, moons, you name it, that were attracted to and soul that particular galaxy. Because as I've learned, which is just amazing, is that all these trillions of galaxies that the Creator has created, not one single one is exactly the same as the others. And so that's just an amazing fact when you think about it. So
Yeah.
so what happened is that Creator gave Gaia a 2 mile wide asteroid that she could control the movements on. And she had to visit every single one of those galaxies, and it took her millions of years. Now, I have found out that she was able to use these same portals that that our scientists will discover in the future that all the extraterrestrials use to to move about the universe. These are energetic pathways where they can move instantly from one galaxy to another, one planet to another, and they portal hop across the universe. And that's how she got through these galaxies, was that she used these energetic pathways to go from sun to sun, planet, whatever, and it took her millions of years to do that.
Wow. Well, and when does the book come out? I can't wait.
Yeah, if I go with my publisher, she's already told me there's 3 books being done in front right now.
Okay.
So who knows? I've got big decisions, and
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
if anybody has any great ideas on how I will be able to reach as many people as I do through the way that I'm doing it right now, of course, I would do it as possibly an Amazon, book that would be one by one kind of thing, or 25 or 50 or whatever. But it's, I don't know.
I think you'll come into an awareness for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting because before you came on, I got a message for you.
Oh.
And some direction, which is very interesting. And I'll share it with you after, but I wonder if it has to do with this.
Okay.
I forgot. We didn't have time beforehand, so I'll share it after. But very interesting.
That was my mistake.
So yeah, but it was very direction oriented by a galactic boss sounding voice that I'm not familiar with. I hadn't heard of this before, but they were very directive. But anyways, very interesting. Okay. I love that they came in for you right before you came in.
So anyway, you don't want to publicize it now. It's personal, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll share it after. Okay. So looking more into the book now, in the book, are you going to be addressing our soul fragments, or is that something separate that you kind of have already discussed with?
Well, yeah. I mean, keep in mind, I've asked thousands of questions of Gaia. So they're under topics such as space, technology, souls, just a wide range. Mm-hmm. I have no earthly idea how many pages the book is right now, because my editor set the paragraphs up on each question so there would be space in between. Mm-hmm. And obviously in a book they would be tightly spaced, and so it just goes over a wide range of topics.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what your definition of the soul fragments and our souls, and what happens with different timelines and different lives and because I have a different connection to our soul fragments and calling them back in. So this was a little bit different for me. So I'm curious to know, tell us a little bit more about
Okay,
what you
and
found.
keep in mind, this is what I've received. So um, everyone is welcome to have your own beliefs. Everyone has a different soul interest. So I can only tell you what I've been told in as a general rule regarding souls and all. Um, First of all, um, the souls that are here in this universe were attracted to this universe. They were not uh, mostly created by Creator. As an example, the souls having lives on Earth right now, only 10% of them had uh, lives that uh, that were created by our Creator. Okay, all the rest came from other creations. There's trillions of other universes, trillions, and so the souls that were attracted to our universe were attracted for billions of reasons. Um, because you can look, as I put in that last newsletter, just look at two of the galaxies, the Sombrero Galaxy. You can pull up an image of that. I also have one in my newsletter, and then our galaxy, the Milky Way, and we think the Milky Way is in the middle of the universe. In actuality, it's at the edge of the universe, and some of the stars and all that we see in our night sky are actually the next universe over. There are three universes that are adjacent to our universe. Two of them we can't see because they're on the far side of the universe, but there is one that we can see. My ET buddy Antura has actually traveled using a portal from Earth to the next universe, and he says, Tom, he says, because you haven't been traveling in space yet, you would not know the difference in one galaxy to the next. But he said that universe is way, way different than our universe. And excuse me. So all of these souls were attracted to our universe for different reasons to uh, to ensoul suns and planets and moons and so on in different galaxies for whatever reason. So that was the first. Now our souls were attracted to the Milky Way galaxy, and we were inhabiting other planets. I was told I've had over 100,000 lives on Nomo, a water planet in the Sirius B star system, as an amphibian. And I was some type of religious leader that I would reincarnate like the Dalai Lama does on Earth every time. But I did this for thousands and thousands of times on Nomo before I volunteered for the Earth experiment.
And does it feel like our planet is like just a little vacation, destination for the galaxy?
Eventually, it will be. Right now,
Oh, okay, right now it's not.
yeah, right now it's stuck in the middle of the Earth experiment, which has been going on for several million years. So the ETs have been around for that long, and but it will only go on for 7,000 years more, only 7,000. And I was told, Tom, that's really a short time when you think about how long this experiment's been going on. By the time the end of the 7,000 years, everyone will have left this planet except for about 100 people on each one of our continents. And I'm told I'm going to be in charge of the cleanup crew. And that at that point, we'll have raised our dimensional level from 5.0, where it is right now, to about 5.8, 5.9. And we will, at that time, be able to change molecules. And these 100 people on each one of the continents will change all the structures, anything that was built by man, back to Earth. So it will return to its pristine original beauty. And at that time, it will become a tourist attraction from not only all over our universe, but the other universes as well, because there will be a tiny bit of negativity left so that people can get a little feeling of what the negativity was that we've lived it with at much higher 60% or whatever level.
Okay, so can you define what you mean by soul fragment when you're
Okay.
talking about our
Each soul having a life on Earth, we're not whole souls. We're fragments of souls. And typically, a soul will have anywhere from 6 to 12 soul fragments having lives on Earth, all with different soul interests. So, as an example, mine is religion and also advising world leaders, which I do in other lives. But another soul, Antura, as an example, my ET buddy, is also a fragment of our soul, and his um, his soul interest is exploration and um, designing towns and villages from the very start, laying out the streets and things like that. So that's his soul interest. So that's why in this life, when he's having a life back as an ET, um, it's he's part of a first contact grassroots team of 4, and he's he I'm supposed to meet him this life. We'll see, and he's here to help me and help me with my soul contract on this life.
this soul fragment contract.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, there's 6 to 12, and they're in what's called a soul cluster. Okay, that's what I'm told they're called. Soul group, soul cluster, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, your soul may be having over 100,000 to 100. Well, I'm sorry, over 500,000 to over 1 million lives, all going on at the same time, all over the universe for our learning. Now, what are they learning? They're learning because eventually, as part of taking part in this Earth experiment, all of our souls had the desire to one day merge into a creator ourselves. And so millions of years in the future, long past the time we go back to our planets and all, we will have raised our vibrational levels and all to the point where creator will turn over the universe to our souls, which will merge into a creator ourselves, which has never, ever been done in any of the trillions of other universes. And we will become a creator. And I've asked, well, what will be our interest? And they said, we're waiting with bated breath to find out because we don't know.
Okay, well, I'm interested about the soul fragments and how our different experiences basically are different fragments of who we are.
Yeah.
So that our higher mind, our soul self, is fragmented too?
No, we have a direct connection
Oh, okay.
with our souls. Okay, a
Okay.
direct connection,
Okay.
And I was told that, oh gosh, what's the lady that did the Seth books?
Oh,
Jane Roberts, I believe. Okay. I was told that she got that part wrong. You know, she wrote a book called Oversoul 7, I believe it was. And I was told that was incorrect, that we actually have a direct connection with our souls. And but at the same time, they're having all these lives preparing them to know everything there is about this universe and how to run it.
okay.
And each one of these 600 to 800 lives on average that most people have are all have 12 parallel lives, all at different frequencies going on. And I've asked Gaia, well, is it just 12 frequencies of people? And she said, no, there's 12 Earths, which takes a quantum master to run that.
I'm like, no wonder I'm so tired. If I'm having all these lives at one time, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're blowing my mind. Okay, so here we go. Peg has a question. Hi, Peg. Tom, why can't we know about our 4 negative energies on Earth that are part of the Creator's experiment here? Thank you. Do you know what Peg is talking about? Okay.
Yeah. I've been told that our scientists have to figure that out for themselves. They're not even looking yet. They don't know that there are 4 negative energies. They will not discover them maybe for 200 or 300 years or more. It all depends on if they start looking. Our whole universe and the trillions of other universes were created in the 10 positive energies. So when Creator decided to do this Earth experiment, it he knew he was working with negative energies, and there would be byproducts. In this case, there are negative spirits. They're not souls, but they're like leftovers from the creation of these of this space-time continuum. It's called, which encompasses our our planet and the other planets in the solar system. And once you get out past the Oort belt, then you start going into the positive energies again.
Okay.
But it's got to be some scientist aha moment. Now I'm told that if people, excuse me, keep keep sending in questions asking, is this a negative spirit, or is that calling all these different ones? Sometime someone is going to get close on the answer, but not perfect. So keep on sending them in. I just keep having to say no, 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 no. Eventually, someday, Gaia is going to surprise the heck out of me and say, they almost were close. So we'll see.
Melissa says, are there 14 energies then? Because I dreamed there are 14 continuous ohms.
14 continuous what?
14 continuous, she said MOS, but then down below it says ohms. Ohms.
I don't know if I understand that. I'm sorry. There are 10 positive energies, 4 negatives.
Okay. So 10
and 12
altogether.
Parallel, frequencies with the higher frequencies having much easier lives than the lower frequencies.
So,
in that vein, I was asked, well, are the soul fragments in the lower timelines larger? And I was told no, but they are just given a lot more help. they're being sent energy all the time for them to be able to stand these lower timelines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Melissa says ohms, continuous yoga, those chants, the ohms. So I was right. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting, Melissa, that you bring this up. And what I was seeing when you were talking, Tom, what I was being shown here is, when you play like a frequency that we can't even really hear, but it can change a room. So if you're playing a frequency, and in our physical ears, we're not totally aware that we're hearing this, but they're playing it. And it can create havoc in a room and chaos in a room. Like people will start getting angry and start being upset and feeling all kinds of things because they're playing this frequency. Is that similar to is that a picture of kind of what's going on here with these energies?
I don't think so, but then I haven't exactly asked that question.
You might have to ask it.
May have to.
Because I'm seeing this play out where where to keep order or to push through a higher vibration, or to keep order, or sometimes you have to have chaos first before that. And so chaos is created through these frequencies that are kind of playing out that we aren't fully aware of happening, to push through the advancement that we are headed towards.
And that may be. I mean, these may be questions that I've been told many times I was only scratching the surface, with these questions. So that may be something I can ask and get a little tiny hint on.
Yeah, I'm
Keep
dizzy.
in mind, everybody, I got a degree in finance, not science. And so sometimes when these questions come up, it's really difficult for me. When I've communicated with Sun Soul, he wants me to call him Sun because he says any other name, some religion would claim, see, that's our religion. That's who you should be worshiping. And so he wants me to call him Sun. When I communicate with Sun, it's like I'm communicating with a physicist, and he has to dumb down his answers to me. So, maybe someone with a much better scientific degree than me has to take up some of these questions.
Oh no, I think you're a perfect channel for him. Because if you were scientific, you'd just be adding your own little things to it. A clearer channel, I feel. All right. Well, my mind is blown. I have to step out of that energy. It's making me dizzy. Whatever's okay. So I want to move on. You take all kinds of questions in the newsletter, so I love that. And one that really what
Try to.
yeah. The globe, we just lost someone that we all saw on TV over and over and over. He was one of our friends, Matthew Perry, and it's really affected many, many people.
Yes.
And so the question, I think, was presented, what happened there? Why did he die? Or
right. I was told that his sole contract in this life was to become a beloved actor, and at the same time to overcome addiction. And he had finished his sole contract, and of course that started helping other people with addictions. And but it was time for him to leave, and I think he's going to be born a little farther in the future as a woman, and he's going to be compelled to help people. But his legacy will be that they are forming. I just saw this on TV recently. They're forming a foundation in his name to help addictions, people with addictions, and this will help many, many more people than he would have been able to help individually. So leaves a good legacy from his life.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's very beloved. And so thank you for channeling that for us. Now, let's talk about orbs.
Okay.
Now, do you have experience yourself? Do you see orbs with your physical eye, or do you catch them on film, or do you just asked questions in regard to orbs and what
Right.
what they
Mostly
were?
unconscious. I'm told that like if you see a red orb, that means someone that has had like 100 Earth lives. If
Oh,
you
okay.
see a
So the
blue
colors
orb,
mean something. That's interesting.
yeah, a blue
Mhm.
orb, that's a guide, probably a guide for you that has had like a couple of hundred lives. And then excuse me, and then when you see these little small, and you mostly can see these in photos that people have taken. You see lots of little light orbs. These typically are like your uh, dog soul fragments, cat soul fragments, insects, bird uh, soul fragments, and
Okay.
they're all being guided to a staging area, uh, not the same one, but a staging area. There might be, let's just say, and I'm just throwing out a number here. I don't really know. Let's say there were 10 staging areas in the United States for dogs. Okay, and maybe the same for cats, but maybe in another country, maybe there would be only one. Um, it all depends on the population, and there are actually human souls that help guide them to these staging areas. So there, it might be, oh, I'm going to take time off. I'll guide these little guys back uh, to the staging area where the big soul, the soul of the dogs, as an example,
Mhm.
assigns um, birth their new birth mother, and it could be in the past, present, or future. So if you want your favorite pet, excuse me, to come back, you say, I request the most benevolent outcome for my dog Fluffy to return for another life with me. Then don't don't think that just because the dog just died, you've got to find a dog that is just being born, in a month or a week or a year. It could be a dog that's already uh, been born that you find in a kennel and say, that's the perfect dog for me.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see. I have this orb picture. Let's see if I can get it up here big enough for everyone. I wonder if this will. Oh, yeah. So we just did a retreat. Uh, Kim, Intuitive View, Kevin, and Andrea, Lilac Lantern, and I hosted a retreat in Bryce Canyon. Are you familiar with Bryce Canyon?
I've never been there. No.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's
Anyway,
probably a very remote place because I hear it costs $160 a head
to get there.
for a
Yeah.
package.
Yeah. Anyways, once you get there, it's absolutely beautiful. And anyway, we did a night where we did mediumship readings and talked to loved ones who have crossed and so forth. And then afterwards, we did where we turned out all the lights and called in our loved ones and to show in orbs and stuff. So and everybody's capturing orbs on their on their film. And
Yeah.
so and here's one, it kept coming to me. This one kept coming over slow, and I could tell it was different because it kept coming right over to me and then, moving, and then it would do it again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a picture of this or whatever. So, so I'm going to share the screen and see if we can see it together, but it's window. See if you can see it. But can you see the face? Can you guys see it, family?
It's very faint on my screen. So.
Oh, it's very faint. Okay, so it is.
There we go. Now, I will mention, I didn't mention the white orbs, and they can be very complex. And yes, at times, I've seen orbs photos with a smiley face.
Yeah, this is smiling. So you can see the smile here.
Okay.
And
And
here's the eyes, nose, and the smile. And the smile actually is shaped like a little heart.
yeah,
Anyway, but yeah.
and so I'm told that that there will be someone in the future that will make a huge study of orbs and decipher what all these orbs that are white but have complex innards. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
sure what.
where you can, yeah.
And uh, they will give much information about that. So
Cool. Cool.
something to look forward to.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that was a fun experience.
Yeah.
To actually capture that, because everybody else is doing the orbs, and I'm just kind of like experiencing their experience and loving that they're experiencing it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And I kept seeing this one, and so I took a picture of it. Kept coming over towards me. Anyway, we are at time, and there's so many more things that we wanted to talk about today. But I do just want to pass on. Please check out Tom's Tom's website, thegentlewaybook.com. And he has several books available. And
The Gentle Way.
yeah.
Oh, there's the Gentle Way book. Yeah.
The Gentle Way books. We have the Gentle Way with Pets. We have this is the Gentle Way 3, but there's Gentle Way 1 and 2. And then we do have Atlantis and Lemuria and First Contact. And then you have the couple more coming out, right? Or the one coming out soon. Hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
And the link for the newsletter. So the gentlewaybook.com, if you go to that website, there is a link to sign up for the newsletter to receive that.
Do we have time for the MBO request for Thanksgiving?
Yes. So we're going to end today with the MBO, the most benevolent outcome for Thanksgiving and holiday.
Okay.
Holidays coming up. If you want to guide us in that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there are several that you can do. First you could say, I request the most benevolent outcome for my trip to my parents' house, and I request the most benevolent outcome for our time at my parents' house to be even better than I can hope for or expect. And I request the most benevolent outcome for our drive home. Now, in that, sometimes, as we well know, there can be problems with families, and you may need to say, I ask any and all beings to aid and assist in keeping my family safe while we are at this Thanksgiving with my relatives. Thank you. So, there are times where people are having, they may have addictions, they may have a violent personality, and you may need to request a safety for you and your children and family.
Yeah. And that's a good point. And y'all know your families, so you
Yeah.
know, kind of how to word the most benevolent outcome prayer intention. Um, and I'll probably post. I will post those on my community page because Tom allows me to do that. Um, and you'll find also that I've posted on the community tab most benevolent outcome prayers for both uh, all the wars going on right now.
Yes, please do.
So you can do those specific ones.
And
I
say them
encourage
out
you
loud.
to print those out, put them up, say them aloud, and so that vibration goes out. Right,
It
Tom?
does. It goes
Yeah,
directly out to wherever it needs to go.
yeah.
We are
So
powerful. Just keep that in mind.
we are powerful and we are moving this energy. And so, Tom, thank you for all that you are doing for this, for raising the vibration. And thank you for the prayers that, and again, I will continue to post those on my community page so we can have those. But thank you for hanging out with us today. And it went by fast.
I greatly appreciate it. Thanks,
Woo.
everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you tonight on Newsflash Friday with Kim and Two of you. I'll see you in a couple hours.
Wow.